Hi to everyone, I'm Victor López. I work in the Magnetisme and Superconductivitat group of the University of Barcelona. I'm working in possible magnetic systems such as these cobalt iron oxide nanoparticles. This is a brief summary about all I'm going to talk. Well, as all nanomaterials, magnetic nanoparticles can be described as a macrospin. That is the magnetization. Then, due to the crystallographic lattice, exists an isotropy energy, is described like energy barrier, where exist two stable positions, up and down, and we can define a blocking temperature where above this temperature the particle can overlap the barrier and is in the supermagnetic regime. Under them is blocked the particle. In all magnetism exists some orders like ferromagnetism, antiferro, and ferrimagnetism, is the case of cobalt iron oxide. And this exchange in direction is due to the overlap of the orbitals of the electrons and generates a magnetic order, ferrimagnetic, I repeat, and we can define another temperature, characteristic temperature is the Curie temperature, where above this temperature you lose the magnetic order and have the typical atomic paramagnetism. For cobalt iron oxide, this temperature is around 700 kelvins. Then, this is the typical side effects you found in a lot of nanomaterials, and go to the cobalt iron oxide. This is the chemical composition. It's a typical ground inoculation method. Well, if you are interested, we can talk later. And this was the particles we obtained. We obtained small particles and a bimodal size distribution. One peaks at 3 nanometers and the second one at 6. Then this is another TIM image of the particles, and we detect in the plane 311 some distortions of the lattice. The bulk value is about 2.5 angstroms, and for small particles this value increases. Then I suppose in these particles have different phenomena. There is the typical characterization, zero field cool curves, is typical magnetization, in magnetic measurements, sorry, and we detect two different peaks. These peaks are associated with the blocking temperature of the two distributions of particles, the biggest one and the smaller ones. One around 10 kelvins and the other one around 19, more or less. Then this is what I expect with a bimodal size distribution, but if you measure this curve with different HCA magnetic fields, as the blocking changes with the frequency of the applied field, I expect some movements to bigger temperatures. This happens from the biggest particles, but the peak at low temperatures remains in the same position. Another fact is this barrier energy can be destroyed with different applied magnetic fields. That's happened from the biggest particles with applied fields upper 1 Tesla, disappears the barrier, but the peaks at low temperatures remains at the same position another time. Then we think this peak at low temperature is not the blocking of the small particles, it's another thing, it's the Curie temperature of these particles. And these particles have a colossal reduction of this Curie temperature from 700 kelvins to 10. It's the first system we can observe this fact, only for the distortion of the lattice. This is another signature of this transition. The two peaks are between 10 kelvins and 19, and the green curve at 100 Kelvin in the middle of this regime temperature, we have a paramagnetic signal due to the atomic paramagnetism of the small particles and some superparamagnet particles at the middle and a little hysteresis loop due to the blocked particles. Now we're trying to understand theoretically this fact. We use a simple model, only defining the new barrier and the behavior of the particle with the temperature with the Curie temperature of the particles, and solving this relaxation equation. Then, what we are obtaining is, for particles defining the Curie temperature at high temperatures, we have the typical behavior of magnetism. But reducing the Curie temperature to the blocking, cases like 0.5, 3, 5, we recreate the behavior of the peak low temperatures. And now we are studying what happens when you combine typical particles with this new fact. Well, here the conclusion. That's all, folks.